Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, CBS's Randy Cross, a three-time Super Bowl champion, and Darrell Green, two-time Super Bowl champion and Hall of Famer, former cornerback for the Redskins, with you here on Countdown to Kickoff on CBSSports.com. We've talked about breaking down Larry Fitzgerald and Hines Ward. Catch that segment, and of course, on being a Hall of Famer. It's all here on CBSSports.com. Let's get into the defenses, though, a little bit, Darrell. And everybody's talking about Pittsburgh's defense, so I don't know. Let's be different a little bit. Let's start with Arizona's defense and a guy that you trained before he was drafted by the Cardinals, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie out of Tennessee State. Interesting story. His father's best friend was my roommate with the Redskins, Tim Johnson. And so we made connection, and he was in college, and he came to train with me. And kind of cheated because my son's a wide receiver at Virginia, so I was using the defensive back to compete against my son. He got something out of the deal, too. You know? But I just talked to him, matter of fact, today, and he's really – I'm very proud of what he's done, coming from a small school, and he didn't start right off the bat, but he worked his way in, and he's been an impact player. And I told him, he said this, he said, I want to model my career after you, Darrell Green. And I said, well, I went to the Super Bowl my first year, and I told him today, I said, but I lost. So don't follow, one up me. And then the second year I made the Pro Bowl. But I think the kid has really been a real impact player down the stretch. And really when you talk about their defense, and really the whole Cardinals team, they've been impact players when they needed to be. Who thought they would beat Atlanta, Carolina? So, I mean, everybody is stepping up, and that young kid, I think, has been one of the catalysts.
Well, speaking of impact players, we talked earlier about Adrian Wilson and the job he did, and you can also relate as a guy that played a long time, those 20 years. Adrian Wilson has gone out of his way to stay in Arizona to see this thing through, and now at this point in his career, he gets to play in a Super Bowl. But most of America doesn't know about this guy. Start out, he's huge. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'3", about 230 pounds. At playing safety, plays all over the field.
There's a lot of big safeties that have played. Matter of fact, I was talking the other day about Roy Williams, who played for the Cowboys.
Right.
And the problem with Roy is he could play around the line of scrimmage, but he couldn't play in space. But I think on the contrary, Wilson has been able to, even as a big guy, play around the line of scrimmage as well as play in space. And I think that's what makes him a cut above. Today, when you look at Sanders in Indianapolis, who's the guy in Baltimore?
Polamalu, Ed Reed.
Ed Reed. You've got to be able, everybody's seen the play where Polamalu is jumping over the deal and to hit the quarterback. But you've got to be able to play around the line of scrimmage, but you've got to be able to play in the back because, unfortunately, you do have to play some cover, too. You do have to cover as a safety. And I think Wilson, I'm really happy for him that he kept his body up in such a way he hadn't gotten fat and out of shape where I'm just a guy around the line of scrimmage, because if you do that, you'll be like the guy at the Cowboys.
Big Ben's not going to throw it every single play. When you look at their run defense, especially the front four and their ability to get off the ball and play the game on the other guy's side of the line of scrimmage, do you give their defense a pretty good shot of stopping the Steeler running game or at least slowing it down?
I do, because I think what they have done is they have played in these playoffs and said, hey, we can play.
Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, we can do this. And so I think right now they're playing at such a high level of confidence because of what they've been able to accomplish. I tell you, Big Ben better get the running game, and I'm really concerned about that with Parker and a little bit Willie a little bit banged up. It could be, we'll talk about who we're going to pick later, but it could be a nice day for the guys out in the sun.
And possibly a day for your buddy, Mr. Cromartie, to one-up you, as you were saying. Let's talk about Pittsburgh's defense here, though, because it's something special. And you guys have been around and seen some of the best defenses of all time. If the Steelers are to win the Super Bowl and hold another team under 300 yards of offense, only one team all year, including the playoffs, has gained 300 yards of offense this season, where would you rank them in history of the NFL?
We know they're not the best Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, I was going to say. So you're looking at a couple of things. You're looking at statistics, results. I mean, you're looking at personalities. I mean, they really are kind of outside of the hair coming out of the helmet. All the women love this guy. Everywhere I go, they talk about Polamalu, but they really are kind of a no-name, quiet, and they are very similar, even as great as they are, they're very similar to Arizona, that they're getting the credit in the big stage that really, I don't think people really recognize, except the real football people that understand stats and so forth. I won't put them that high. I wouldn't put them that high. I know the stats would say that, but I just think they're playing together well, but in terms of those great defenses. You know, us old guys, we're hard, man. We're hard.
You train a little harder.
We don't give up those high numbers real easy.
Yeah, we're not giving it up too quick.
All right, plenty more to come with Darrell Green here on Countdown to Kickoff here from Tampa all week long with Hall of Famers, guys from CBS, and of course Randy Cross will be with me all week long here in Tampa. Stay with CBSSports.com throughout the week. Take care, folks.